Hey there, today we'll be doing this question that appeared in Leetcode weekly contest 3272531. Make number of distinct characters equal. Given question statement is you are given two zero index string, word 1 and word 2. You need to choose two indices I and j from word 1 and word 2 and just swap the characters. And after swapping the characters, you need to see that the word 1 and the word 2, both of them have this number of distinct characters to be equal. Now, the question statement is pretty simple, but we'll understand this with the example 2 right here and also the walkthrough of the intuition that we'll be applying in this one. So let's just write this one first, ABCC and AAB. So we see that in the first word, we have three distinct characters, and here we have two, that is A and B, and here we have A, B, and C. So 3 and 2. We need to make sure both the words are having the same number of distinct characters. So what can we do? We can just simply say that okay, we'll be swapping these A and C right here, and thus both of them will have three distinct characters. So that is the way to do this one. Now, how to implement this actual swapping part is an interesting one, because this part would actually be a harder one if you just completely draw it in a brute force manner, but we'll be applying a better trick here in order to perform this swapping operations. So as we know that the word 1 and word 2 can have only characters from A to Z, that is 26 characters can only be there, right? So first of all, we'll be trying to make a count array of all the frequency of the elements. That is, in the first, I'll just delete this first right here. After that, I'll just write here the strings again, that is this one, and I'll just make a frequency array right here. So A, B, and C, A, B, C. The frequency of A in first is 1, B is 1, and for C it's 2, and this will go on till Z. But obviously all the other ones are 0 right here for now. Now again we'll do this similarly for the string 2. So A, B, and C. This is right here. A we are having 2, B we are having only 1, and C we are having none. So this is the frequency array. Fine. This is the frequency array of both. Now, what we are going to do is we are just going to try a brute force approach in swapping in these frequencies, mind you. And even if we do a brute force in this frequency, in brute force, what do? We just simply say, okay, for a particular index, that is this index, I will try to swap it with every other characters that we are having, right? And what do I mean by this? For index A, the first one, the length of this array is also 26, and this array is also 26, and this is nothing but the number of characters that we are having in an English alphabet. Okay, so at first we see that okay, we have A. Now we can swap this with this A right here, B, C, so on till Z, right? But we see from C to Z we do not have any character that is present in my second word, that is this word. So we are only concerned about for now A and B. So now if I say that A is there, if I swap A and A, both of them, do we get something out of it? That means, does the number of distinct character increase, decrease, or does it remain same? If you see, if you swap A and A right here, this A and A, does it give any value different other than the previous one? That means the distinct character remains same, right? It does not affect our value, so we do not care about this part. Now we'll say that okay, A and A does not give me anything. I'll say that I'll swap A and B. So this guy right here, and I see that I do have some character present in my second string, that is word 2, that is having a B. So I can indeed swap A and B. So I can say that okay, I will swap this A and this B, right? So let's just perform this swapping operation right here. So this part is done. So this B and A has been swapped perfectly. Now you need to watch this part carefully, because we will not be actually swapping the characters. We will be trying to manipulate the frequencies only. By manipulating the frequencies only, you can actually do the swapping part. So we can see from word 1, 1A has been decreased, right? 1A has been decreased. So what are we going to do? We're just going to say that okay, from word 1 I will just minus the frequency by 1. So this will become 0. And what did I add after swapping it? I added a B. So what are we going to do? You guessed it correctly, that obviously we are going to increase the frequency of B by 1. That is, now it will become 2. And from word 2, what we did, we took a B and transferred it to A, that is swapped it obviously. So the frequency of B right now decreases to what? To 0. And the frequency of A, which now has been swapped from word 1 to word 2, will increase by 1. So it will become what? It will become 3, right? So it will become 3. So now if you see, this part is swapping is done. Now what we will do is we'll just simply write a check function. Then let's just assume that there is a function right here, okay? And this function says that okay, I will just give you the number of distinct characters that are present there. So I will just call a function and I'll say, okay, after swapping this, did I get the number of distinct characters to be equal? And if this function returns a true, we will return a true. Now, this function, do not worry about it. I'll show you in the code part how to implement this. This is a very easy one. Okay, this is not the part to worry about. Now, after this function, if it returns true, it is well and good for us. But if it does not return true, what do we need to do? Obviously, we need to revert all the operations that we did. Why? See, you have swapped it right now, right? Now again, you will try some other combination, right? What you will be doing, will be swapping everything back. That means you will be trying to just generate the original string, regenerate the original string that you had. Now again, what you will be doing, you'll try A with C, the swapping part. Okay, now this again regeneration of this original string back will require what? Again changing these values, because A has again come back in our word one. So again, what will happen? While you were doing minus minus here, instead you'll do plus plus. That means at first, whenever you swapped something, you decreased the value from A and you increased it to 1, right? So now, whenever you regenerate it, we will just do the opposite operation. Like here it is minus and plus, we'll do plus and minus. The exact same code will be there. Instead of doing a minus, we'll do a plus again. You'll understand it with the code better. So I'll just take out another example right here and you'll understand this. This is the final example and we'll just move on to the code part. So this is an example wherein we have A and BB, and I've already written the frequencies, pre-written it here, and this goes obviously up till Z, but we do not care about that because Z is not present here. So after that, what do? We say that, okay, we have a right here, and do we have a here? Do we have any A here? We cannot do a swap, right? Obviously, because we do not have the frequency of A. So we move on from A to B. We say that, okay, yes, I do have two B's here and I have one A. So I can probably swap one A and one B, and we can see that, okay, it can give us also and it cannot give us also. So let's see what does this happen. So I've already done the swapping part also. So here, after swapping, this is what our frequency array will look like. That is, our frequency of A will become 1. Previously our string was something like this, remember. This was our string, it only had A, now it is having B. And this one was only BB, but now we are having AB. So you can see the transition right here. We are simply manipulating the frequencies by decreasing something and by increasing something. That is how we are swapping it. We are only considering the frequencies. And why can we do this? Because see, we are concerned about only one swap, right? We are concerned about one swap only. Now you might ask that there are two guys, two B's here, and you have only one A. But you need to see that they have already mentioned in the question, we just need to do exactly one swap. Okay, one swap is needed. That means we'll only take one character from the word 1 and one character from the word 2. Fine. So that is why this will fulfill our requirements for this question. Now let's get on to the code part. Sorry about that. Now the code might seem a little bit intimidating, but it is very easy once you understand it. Okay, so at first, what are we doing? I've created two frequency array of word 1 and word 2. So word 1 is being stored in fs and the word 2's frequency is being stored in ss. Fine. So this is just the frequency array. Now we are coming to the main brute force part. That is this part right here. As we said, from 0, 1 till 26 and from 0, 1 till 26. That means A, B, C, and so on till Z, A, B, C, and so on till Z. I will first go in word one's A and I will see, do I have a frequency of that? I'll try to swap A with every character, A with A with B, C, and so on till Z. Now, then I'll swap from B and A. Okay, so this is how it's going on. So, what is this if condition saying? If condition is saying that if some word is actually present, then only you will be going in, right? Let's just say A and Z. Now, this is your, let's just say, frequency array. So from here you have A and Z you have 1, but B's frequency 0. If this is never existing in word 1, how can you even swap it? So that is why we need this condition right here. And I've just taken a swapped variable right here. This will say that, okay, remember the functions that we were calling? Remember, do you remember this function that we were calling? Obviously, because that function was saying that, okay, after swapping, I just make sure to call a function that will say that, okay, are all the distinct characters equal? The number of distinct characters are equal. If yes, we return a true. So this is the check function for that part. Fine. Now let's get on to this, what this swap is doing. Now this I and j is the value that we are swapping from, and remember this is a zero based indexing, so a will be equals to 0, b is equals to 1. Okay, so this is how we are denoting the numbers right here, characters, sorry. So after that we are saying if both of the characters are appearing in word 1 and word 2, then we do a swap of those two characters, and the characters are just indicated by their indexes, fine, ing and their frequencies. So fs and ss were carrying the frequency of word and word 2, and these are the positions of the character, that means ing. Now we will go on to the interesting part, that is the swap part, and this is the most easiest part once you understand it. So these are the steps that you need to do. Now let's understand this with an example and you'll be good to go for this. So let's just shrink this part right here and we'll be good to go from here. And I'll just erase this part as well. Sorry for the wait. Now let's just rewrite this. So A, B, B right here, and we'll just create the frequency array also. So A is 1 right here and B is nothing, and so on till Z obviously. And here we are having nothing but B's frequency as 2 and A's frequency as 0 obviously. Now let's just say for now that we need to swap the indexes 1, that is this one, and index 0. So I am swapping A and B, fine. Since we are dealing with indexes, let's just write the indexes also right here. So this is 0 and 1. I'm saying that obviously A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 1. This is for reference if you're finding it hard to relate to, fine. And C is equals to 2 and so on till Z obviously. So we are swapping 0, the index 0 from word 1 and index 1 from word 2. So what are the conditions that we need to do? We will obviously decrease the frequency of this one at first, right? We are going to decrease the frequency. So if you see carefully, this is what we have done here. That is, first we have decreased from word 1 whatever we are going to swap, fine. So let's just come on to this and let's just decrease this, so this has become 0. Now what is this ss of I that is written here? Let's just see. This ss of I is saying that okay, whatever was in word 1 I will make sure that is incremented in word 2. That is, a was brought from the word 1 and it was put in the word 2 right here. So that is why we are incrementing it. See, this is the incrementing part. After that I'm saying fs of j plus plus. That means j was what? It was this guy right here, right? Now we are saying I will be taking b from word 2 and I will make sure I will increment b in 1. That means I will swap this. That is what we are doing, incrementing. Now I have already taken a b from here, I've taken one guy from here, so this will become 1, right? Obviously. So this has become 1. Now if you see after the swap, this is what our array looks like. Now how is our string looking like? This is, sorry, this will be b and this will be a after the swap. B and a, fine. This is our swapped array. Now what, as I said, there will be a function which will check that how many distinct characters that we have. Now that function is very simple. All we have to do is we just need to iterate on this array and this array, both of them, and we need to see how many guys or how many characters have a frequency greater than 1. That means this guy is having 0, so that means a does not appear. This guy is saying that okay, b appears one time, so number of distinct character is 1. Now in the word 2 of frequency, we will see that okay, 0 is appearing. 0 means 0 corresponds to a. So we will see okay, one of them appears one time, fine. 1 means b. B is appearing one more time. Okay, so number of distinct character in this one is 2 and here it's 1. So obviously what are we going to do? This is the check function. Now we'll be saying that if both of them are true, that means both of the distinct characters are similar, we'll return a true, otherwise we'll return a false. Now coming to this part, we'll see that if both of the distinct characters are number of distinct characters are similar, we return a true then and there. Otherwise what are we going to do? Do you remember? Yes, we just need to swap back whatever changes we have done beforehand. That means we swapped b and a, right? All we need to do is we just need to swap back the same thing again and put it back to their places, because we will be doing the changes in the original string, right? Not the change string, otherwise it will give the wrong answer obviously. So now this reswap function is exactly the opposite of this. If you see here, we are doing minus minus, here we are doing plus plus. Whatever is decreasing here will increase here. That is what reswap means, right? It is a very simple function. So this is what we are doing. We are just reswapping everything and we are making sure that the swapped value is made to false again. So this is just a reference variable, nothing too fancy about it. And whenever we get true, we'll just return true, and if we never get a true, we'll just return a false. So this is the whole code walkthrough, fine. Now this might seem a little overwhelming. Please go through the code once and you'll understand everything. It is the most simplest code you'll find, fine. And there could be much simpler ones also. I'm not arguing about that. There could be much simpler one also, but this is very intuitive, fine. So yeah, if you did understand this explanation, please do like and subscribe, and also the code link will be in the description. If you want it, you can take it from there. And yeah, if you did like this, please do subscribe, and yeah, thank you for watching.